Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, across our beloved Kyber Empire to today's video. We're in the Grand Arena Coliseum. We have, for the first time, Darth Traya, OMICRON. And let me just put it this way. You know, there's a range of nerf possibilities. This is pretty darn high that a nerf is probably coming to this OMICRON because it's nuts! This just may be the best OMICRON in the game on Lord of Betrayal. And as it stands, if you're a Lord Vader owner and someone has one of these OMICRONs, your Lord Vader is garbage. Don't even put it on defense. Don't even try to use it against Traya. I don't know what the developers were thinking, to be honest. First things first, massive shout out to the community. OMICRON investments are one of the biggest investments one can do in the game, and you want to make sure you're putting it on something good before you go all in. So big shout out to all these individuals helping to put some montage gameplay. I put Traya on defense. Boy, do I regret it. In the kit reveal, when we saw the OMICRON, I don't know if the developers do this, they know their own game, or they don't care. I saw this from a mile away, that she was going to be a lot more competitive up against Lord Vader, because before the OMICRON, she was already able to pick apart a Lord Vader team. This OMICRON, majority of this gameplay is just the community dogging on Lord Vader with this cooldown reduction data credit in a lot of these battles, and Traya in a lot of these battles is leaving with full banners, maximum banners, up against the Galactic Legend with just one OMICRON and whatever character in the last. I've seen Darth Sidious in some of this gameplay school the opponent as well. So that's why I'm saying I think there's a good chance they're going to probably slap on if there are no Galactic Legends on the field, blah, 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 blah. Kind of like what they did to Qui-Gon. Remember Qui-Gon? Qui-Gon kind of gave us his vibe. He was nuking Supreme Leader Kylo Ren and a bunch of other stuff out there. And they added that Galactic Legends clause. And to this day, Qui-Gon is still good. Don't get me wrong, but he's not nearly as good as when he first came out with the OMICRON. And the thing I want to note here, oh man, if there is a chance they're going to nerf it, if Qui-Gon's any instance of past suggestions, CG is not going to refund the OMICRON if they nerf it, which I think is a load of BS-ery, my friends. But let's talk about why is Darth Traya OMICRON and whether I think this character should get nerfed, or maybe this is kind of a good thing. Boy, that's going to be a hard sell even for me to try to convince you guys of here. All right, Lord of Betrayal on Darth Traya. The OMICRON here. We've done the full kit reveal and all that other stuff. What's going on here is, remember, it's a unique ability upgrade, which is great, so you can plug her in different lineups. I threw her in a Sith Eternal lineup. I'm curious to see if that's making Sith Eternal better on defense. But the thing that's really obvious is you're going to want to use her on offense against Lord Vader. If you can get maximum banners against the Lord Vader cooldown data card, which is expiring in a few days, granted, that's the best use for her. But Sith allies are getting 40% critical damage, max health, and offense, so great boost straight at the get-go. But this is the thing that's making her pretty much indestructible against the Lord Vader, and we saw this. I don't know how they didn't see it at CG. When a Sith ally suffers a debuff, they gain 10% bonus protection, which is stacking. And keep in mind, it's not like the buff variant. It just happens, so you can't dispel it or truly really prevent it as well. And that's the biggest kicker when you're getting Lord Vader, Darth Vader smashing debuffs on the team. 10% bonus protection is astronomical on the Sith team, because remember, they're getting max health increases, and some of them scale, like Darth Nihilus throughout the battle for all the debuffs applying. Darth Nihilus is growing in health, and bonus protection is based off the max health. So you can see they're easily into the millions of damage. And at the very end, I have a really funny clip from one of our viewers and people in our community where they tried to do an underdog, and Nihilus was just like taking millions of damage, and like he was acting like nothing was going on here. At the start of each Sith ally's turn, Traya is going to dispel the debuffs on them, and this is crazy. Jeez, this is at the start of each Sith ally's turn, Traya dispels all debuffs on them, and then all Sith allies gain 5% critical damage health steal, and again, maximum health and offense, stacking up to 100%, and that's going to be very easy to do, especially up against a Lord Vader team. And as we're seeing here, with all that stacking offense and the critical damage and the other offensive boost that she's got on the team, we're seeing Darth Sidious. And remember, they fixed his basic this year, so now he can ignore defense if there was a debuffed enemy. He's hitting for multi-100,000 damage. Sidious has never been able to hit that much in their lifetime. And we're seeing things like Traya hit for probably close to 1 million on her specialty, her basic, casually doing 500,000 damage The damage is ass-to-frickin-nomical, my friends, which is pretty nuts if you think about it. Apologies for this gameplay here. One of the viewers, Blue Stacks, was a little wonky, so it's good. Hopefully you don't get any seizures watching this here, because a lot of flickering going on in the gameplay here. Moving on, though, when an allied Darth Talon is critically hit, so to be honest, it doesn't really seem like you need Talon here. You could use Talon anywhere else. It seems like it just works without Talon as well. But when allied Darth Talon's there and she's being critically hit or inflicted a debuff, this is where Traya hits for a lot more, and it's crazy. I don't think you need it, but it makes things a lot more crazy for Traya. Traya has unlimited 12% offense stacking for 2 turns. So if they're constantly smashing Darth Talon, critically hitting her, inflicting a debuff, Traya is ramping up her damage drastically and able to boom, 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 hit enemies left and right, doing huge damage, and it helps out Nihilus because Nihilus doesn't have to do all the eating. Traya just comes in and hits him with bajillions amounts of damage. And then here's the big thing right here. You're not really going to see this part up against the Lord Vader team because Lord Vader just can't do anything here. But when an allied Darth Nihilus, Darth Sign, or Darth Talon's health fall below 90% health for the first time, their cooldowns are reset, so giving you a quick insta kill. If in the situation Nihilus fell below 90%, but as you can see from the gameplay, it's not really happening because all that bonus protection pretty much keeps it from Nihilus or the rest of the crew to ever get down to that point. So really, at the end of the day, the biggest takeaways on this OMICRON here is it's very competitive against Lord Vader, probably too good. I know we dogged on Lord Vader a lot, but this is, come on, this is like next level. Like, CG doesn't care about this Galactic Legend, the most expensive Galactic Legend to get, and you can just send it a Sith trio with some random Sith and 1 OMICRON to get maximum banners up against a Galactic Legend with one of the best Conquest characters and all these crazy relicates that you need. But really, it's that bonus protection that makes this team feel like they're indestructible. And then secondly, the stacking offense is huge. And I guess, let's be fair, thirdly, the stacking health, because as the health grows, the bonus protection gets a lot more powerful. I will say I saw some gameplay of them on defense, and it still seems like they're very easy to beat on defense with, like, you know, bounty hunters, Imperial troopers, and whatnot. So I feel like this is going to be mostly an offensive-based tool. You might be able to throw it in with SWGoH and Traya. I'm not going to see the results of my defensive gameplay with Sith Eternal until next week, once this Gwendolino week is over here. I suspect it's going to make Sith Eternal a lot better. But right now, if you have Traya OMICRON, and Lord Vader's been a pain in the butt with this cooldown reduction Datacron, just throw this in. And it's kind of a PSA too for the foreseeable remaining Grand Arenas of this Datacron cycle, or just the remaining part of this Grand Arena until CG comes back into the office next year. If you see someone with a Traya OMICRON, don't even bother putting Lord Vader on defense. It's literally a free win. And from what I've heard from the variety of individuals who did this gameplay, they're like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just hitting, but there's really no strategy. I think that's the other thing. You just show up, you let all the damage ramp up, and you destroy them. So I want to transition this now that we've seen pretty much Lord Vader get dunked on over and over again, almost beating a Malgus. Malgus's fear was a bit of a problem because every time you're cleansing doubt, you get fear. So Malgus was kind of holding up, but even Malgus was having a hard time with the rest of his team here. Should this get nerfed? I want to first emphasize a few things. This is not just like some random marquee character, some random legacy character like Qui-Gon, Dash Rendar. This is a raid character, so we need to look at it under a slightly different lens than those other guys. Like Qui-Gon, seeing a day one character from the Cantina store blow away Galactic Legends, it's really just Anakin doing all the work after Qui-Gon dies, is kind of absurd. That one, I think we saw that one coming too. This one's a little trickier because raid characters should be in the upper echelons of usefulness, but we think of Kenobi and Raid Han, they're not this good. You know what I mean? So I kind of, man, it's hard to say. I mean, I love that this is working. It's just from a balance perspective, and the whole point of the great nerf of 2021 was to stop things like this. That was their intention. I'm just taking what their intentions were of the game and just kind of using those line of reasonings. It seems like this is something that seems ripe for being nerfed, but man, do I love seeing this type of stuff. The question is, if they did nerf this and they made it so it's not useful against Galactic Legends, man, would this still be good? That's the problem I'm having right now, is that it's not going to be as not going to be as good as being a Galactic Legend for maximum banners here. I think the problem is we don't have a lot of gameplay people using Traya against normal stuff out there. Like, you know, maybe let's say we can make Traya beat Gas, Darth Traya, and Malagus. Okay, that would still be a useful Omicron, right? Man, I don't want it to be nerfed. I truly don't. I think it's so cool seeing this, but this is coming from the person who dogged on, memed on Lord Vader, and rightfully so. It's the most expensive Galactic Legend. It's been dogged on by a lot of stuff in the game. This just seems like a next level troll by CG, and I truly believe if they leave this here, it really just goes to show how they don't really care about people's investment into this Galactic Legend. And maybe some Datacrons will help Lord Vader keep up and not have as much of a hard time, but we shouldn't rely on Datacrons to keep a Galactic Legend away from a one Omicron raid boss team. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I should be all in the camp this needs to get nerfed, or maybe I should be all in the camp that this shouldn't be nerfed. I just hope that whatever they do, they don't overly. I think all they have to do, if they really want to nerf, is just do what they did to Qui-Gon, and we still have lots of use for Qui-Gon, right? We could beat out, you know, some Commander Luke Skywalker teams, sometimes General Anakin Skywalker. It's still a very useful Omicron, still decent on defense, all that fun stuff. But man, I think the biggest thing at the end of the day is the fact that they saw, remember when they saw that Traya was pretty useful up against Lord Vader before Omicrons and Datacrons came into the game. I believe they even said they were looking into it, might get possibly nerfed. They didn't do anything about it, and then instead they decided to triple down on what Traya was good at against Lord Vader and make her a guaranteed one-shot counter up against Lord Vader. It's just, I'm a little perplexed is all, especially with their intention to Great Nerf 2021 to prevent things like this, and then they do it anyways. If they don't nerf it, get this Omicron. I'll leave a comment down below. I'll pin it in case they ever do nerf it. So if you're coming back to this video many months later and you want to know if this is still nerfed or not, I'll leave a pinned comment. If they don't nerf it and you don't see a comment, this is still free money right here. My gosh, absurd amounts of damage right there. If they don't nerf this, this is an obvious Omicron to take advantage of it. I'd just be blown away if they don't do anything about this. So you guys let me know down below. Is this something you want to see nerfed? Do you not want to see nerfed? Man, so far what I've seen, this conversation is very, very divisive. I'm a bit biased. Let me just be clear. I am very biased towards characters that aren't Galactic Legends, that punch way above their weight, and especially kind of more high-level characters like Darth Traya, like raid characters. So maybe I'm not the best person to ask for an opinion, because I'm very biased towards this, and I love this Omicron, what it's doing, but I have a high suspicion when CG comes back into the office, probably about the second-ish week of January, there's probably a good chance that they're going to do something about this Omicron. So the point I'm getting at it's amazing Omicron. Be wary if you do apply it, because they haven't refunded Omicrons in the past. And I feel 70% confident they're going to at least nerf this against Galactic Legends. Time will tell. We're going to wrap up with this clip here. We have a viewer here and also a big player of our Galaxy community who tried underdogging. They got really cocky. They tried underdogging against Lord Vader, but Darth Vader did the cooldown, constant cooldown reductions, and kind of went into a loop. And even then, Traya and Lord Vader could not finish off Traya and Nihilus. Absolutely nuts. Thank you all so much for stopping by today for a pretty historic Omicron, I gotta say. Put your thoughts down below. This is gonna be an important debate, I feel like, for your Omicron investments. I just hope if CG does nerf this, please, 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 CG, just give the people the opportunity to refund it. It's the right thing to do. You knew in advance there was something going on with this character, even before this Omicron and Datacron. We said it during the kit reveal. You still did it anyways. And if you nerf this and don't refund the Omicron, that is beyond slimy. Do the right thing if you're going to nerf this amazing Omicron. Give the people the Omicron back. Let them decide once we retest if the Omicron is still good. That's the thing I'm really worried about the most at the end of the day. I don't care if they nerf it or not. I just care if they're going to refund it for those that see it and they want to get on this right now, because you should. Like, comment down below, subscribe to our ever-growing empire. And always remember that it's great to be in the empire today. Oh, it's great to be in the empire today. The sun never sets.